Hello folks, this is Dr. Baugh here, and I am going to go through some simple tree traversals. I know this can be a little bit of a challenge for some of you, and some of you have emailed me and asked for some help with this. This is largely to benefit one of my courses, but it could be for anyone. That's why I'm making it public. Forgive me, I'm just getting used to using this digital drawing pad, so it might take me a little bit. This is really fancy. Okay. All right. So I hope that you enjoy the fact that I'm using Microsoft Paint, because that's extremely high technology here. Um, well, anyway, we're going to do three different tree traversals today. We're going to do pre-order, in-order, and post-order. There's another called level order, which is almost trivial. It's as far as visually, for us at least, we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. That would be the level order traversal. You basically read it from left to right. And that's all that is. So that's pretty simple. Now, pre-order, we have to think recursively here for all three of these, pre-order, in-order, and post-order, because a tree, in this case binary tree, is a recursive structure. In-order wouldn't really make sense for any kind of tree other than a binary tree, but pre-order and post-order can be performed on non-binary trees. But in this case, we are more concerned with the binary tree. Um, I've color-coded some of the nodes here. So at the top, I've got the root, which I have in green. And then you have the internal nodes or intermediate nodes, which I have as blue. Those are nodes that are not the root, but they also are not leaves. In other words, they have at least one child. That's why F and G are internal nodes or intermediate nodes, because they do have at least one child. The nodes that have no children are leaves. So that was just some of the basic for now. In red, I'm going to do pre-order, and maybe we'll make that a little bit wider brush here. Okay, there we go. Pre-order means we consider ourself, the node, first, and then left, right. So I try to remember pre-order as NLR. In all of these, including in order, which is LNR, and also post order, which is LRN, you'll notice that the L and the R are always in the same order relative to one another. The L is always before the R. But the N is what's moving. So if it's pre-order, that means I consider my own node first, and then my left, then my right. In order, I consider the left first, then I consider myself, then I consider the right. And in post-order, I consider the left, the right, and then myself. Okay, this will hopefully make a little bit better sense once we actually start doing it. And again, we have to think of this recursively. Since the tree is a recursive structure, this overall tree, any of its subtrees, such as its left child B, is also the root of its own subtree. So if we ignore the rest of the tree, we can actually see that B is its own tree. Same thing with if we zoomed in on D, we would just say it's a single node tree. So same thing over here. C is a root of its own subtree, and then if we zoomed in on F and forgot the rest of the tree above it or to its side as cousins, then this would be the root of its own tree, and so forth. So it is structurally recursive. Now with preorder, NLR, let's get working here. This is what I have to ask myself. I start at the top, and then I will stop when all the nodes are done, essentially. I start at the top and say, have I written myself down yet? And the answer is no. So I write down A. If it'll let me. There we go. 1 second. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that new pad. Again, I'm just getting used to it. So the other one worked very differently, so this is quite a challenge right now. So we've got the A as the root, and then we've got B as its left child, C as its right child. So I asked the question, hey A, did you check yourself off? Did you consider yourself visited yet? And the answer is now yes. So since the node itself is done, I can then say, hey A, now we have to take care of your left subtree, because the order is NL And then once we're done with that, we'll do R. So I zoom in on the left subtree. Now when you zoom in on this left subtree right here, you have to consider it as if it's its own tree, and you recursively start over. You say, hey B, have you checked yourself off yet? And then when B says, no, I haven't done that yet, you then mark B. And then you say, well, have you checked off your left yet? No, I haven't. So it zooms in down now on D. Now D is the root of its own tree, and you say, hey D, have you checked yourself off yet and marked yourself as visited? It says no, so we do that. We've got D. And then you say, hey D, have you checked your left yet? Well, don't have a left. Well, what about your right? Don't have a right. So this is entirely done for this recursive call. It jumps back up to the B, and we have to ask ourselves, where did we come from? How did we get here? And what we're doing is we're saying, hey B, did you check yourself off? Yes, because I checked myself off at that this recursive call. And then I checked my left off, so my left is entirely done. So now I have to check my right. So I zoom in on my right now, and now I'm at the E. I ask the E, hey E, NLR is the order, so hey E, you're the node, you're the root of your own trees, the captain of your own ship. So have you marked yourself off yet? And it says no, so we do that. Okay, sorry, good grief. This is really being a pest. There we go. Okay, so I also look like I have the handwriting of a third grader. Mine is much better. It's at least fifth grade. But anyway, we have A, B, D, E, and then we zoom back up. Once we have, because E does not have a left or a right, so we go back to B. Now we ask B, did you check yourself off? Yes. Did you check your left off? Yes. Did you check your right off? Yes. So B is done. This entire portion of the tree is done, so we go back up to A. Hey A, how do we get here? Well, the way we got here is because I wrote myself down, and then as visited, then I took my entire left, which is good, and now I have to say, well, I haven't done my right yet, so I go into my right. So I go to the right, and I ask C, who is now the root, I say, hey, have you checked yourself off? And C says, nope, so we better do that. There we go. So we have now checked ourselves off, and we have not gotten to our left yet. So I say, hey, we need to go to your left. So we zoom in on the left, right over here, and then we ask F, have you written yourself off? Nope, so we need to write the F. And then we ask F, hey, have you visited your left tree yet? Well, I don't have a left. Okay, well, what about your right? Nope, haven't visited that yet. So we zoom in, and now we've got the H, and H is now our root of our subtree we're focused on. It's the N in question. Have you written yourself out? Have you visited yourself? Nope. And then we ask H, what about your left? Don't have a left. Don't have a right. Go back up to F. F says, I wrote myself out. Don't have a left and already visited my right, so I'm done. I go up to C. We ask C, have you written yourself out? Sure have. What about your left? Yep, done with that, but not my right yet. So I go to the right, and I see that I have a G here. The G is now my root. It's now my N. So I say, hey G, have you written yourself out yet? Nope, sure haven't. So we do G. And then we say, hey G, what about your left? Well, haven't visited my left, but I don't have a left, so I'm good. And now what about your right? Nope, haven't visited my right. We zoom in, and now we have I as our node in question. We ask the node I, have you visited yourself? It says no, so we do mark it as visited. There we go. Okay, so it then says I don't have a left, don't have a right, so we go back up to G. Hey G, did you visit yourself? Yep. Did you visit your left? Yes. Did you visit your right? Yes. Go back up to C. Visited my left, or visited myself, my left, and my right. Go back up to A. A says I have visited myself, my left, and my right. So this is done. This is the pre-order traversal. Next up, we have the N-order traversal. You notice this one might feel a little more complicated, but it's really not that difficult. We have to visit our left before ourselves, and then once we've visited ourselves, we visit our right. But again, you have to do this recursively. So we start at the top again. We ask A, hey, well, you can't mark yourself down yet because you haven't visited the left yet, right? Because left comes before self. So we go to the left. We ask B, who is now the root in question, the n in question, have you visited your left yet? And he says, nope. So we go down to D. I ask D, have you visited your left yet? Well, I don't have a left. Well, since you don't have a left, I guess you can write yourself out. So D is the first node that we visit in our in-order traversal. It goes back up to B, and I ask myself, B, did you visit your left? B says yes. So now B can visit itself because it's the n. And then what we do is we say, hey B, have you visited your right? And it says no, so we go over here. Hey E, have you visited your left? Don't have a left. What about yourself? Nope, not yet, so we better do that. Okay, so we visited ourselves. What about your right? Don't have a right. Go back up to B, and I say, how did we get here? Well, we visited the left, myself, and the right, just as according to this. And then it says, then I say, okay, well, let's go back up to A. Then I ask A, hey, did you visit your left subtree? I sure did, so now I can visit myself. So now A can be visited. So A is marked visited, and now I say, well, you visited your left, you visited yourself, now what about your right? So it goes down to the right, and it's a whole new world. So we've got, I won't start singing this time. A whole new world. Okay, never mind. So we've got C here. C is the root of this new subtree. And what we're going to do with this is say, hey, did you visit your left yet? Because you can't mark yourself as visited until you visit your left. So it goes down to the left, and we've got the F here, which is the root of its own subtree. Hey F, have you visited your left yet? Sure haven't, because I don't have one. Well, I guess you can write yourself down yet, since you don't have a left or have visited already. Either case would allow me to write myself, and now I say, well, I've visited left since it's trivial and not there, visited self. What about your right? Nope, haven't done that yet. Go down to the right. So I've got H here. I ask H, have you visited your left? Don't have a left. Okay, you can visit yourself then, because you are the node N in this recursive call. Have you visited your right yet? Nope, don't have a right. So we're done. Go up to F. Did you visit your left? Yes. Did you visit yourself? Yes. Did you visit your right? Sure did. Go back up to C. Hey C, did you visit your left? Yes. Have you visited yourself? Not yet, but I'll write it down now. There you go. Now I am officially visited as C. And now I say, have you visited your right? Nope, haven't done that yet. So I go down to the right and I say, hey G, have you visited your left? I don't have a left. Okay, you can visit yourself. So, man, this is really tricky. Okay, there we go. All right, it's very sensitive. Okay, so I said, hey G, have you visited your left? Sure haven't. Visit yourself. Yay, just visited. What about your right? Nope. So you zoom in on the right. And a lot of people have a tendency, they'll say, oh, just write the leaf down. But I really want you to get in the habit of treating it recursively. So I want you to go to the left, zoom in on it, and then ask the questions again. Otherwise, you might get mixed up. So you zoom in on the I and say, what about, have you visited your left? And I says, no. What about yourself? Nope, haven't visited it yet, so we can mark it. And what about your right? Don't have a right. Go up to G. Have you visited left? Yes. Have you visited yourself? Yes. Have you visited your right? Yes. So I'm done. Go back up to C. Hey C, have you visited your left? Yes. Have you visited yourself? Yes. Have you visited your right? Yes. Go back up to A. Hey A, did you visit your left? Yep. Did you visit yourself? Yes. Did you visit your right? Yes. So that right there is the in-order traversal of this tree. Now, the post-order traversal, you could probably make some guesses about it. Since the order is LRN, if you think about it, what node is going to be last? And hopefully you thought of A, because obviously, recursively, if we go through the whole structure here, the last node we're ever going to be able to write is the node itself, A, at the top, after all the other recursive calls are made. Okay, so this one I call the Courteous Traversal because it waits to have its turn until its children are ready. Okay, it's a very good parent. So we're going to do this right here. Start at A and say, hey A, have you visited your left yet? Nope, I haven't, so I can't write myself down because I haven't even visited my right. So I need to visit my left and my right before I can write myself down. But you don't just say B, C, A, you have to do it recursively. So I say, okay, visit my left. I zoom in and ask B, hey, have you visited your left yet? Nope. Go to D. Hey D, have you visited your left yet? And he says no. Have you visited your right? No, but I don't have either, right? So I can just write myself down. So D it is. I go back up to B. Hey, B, did you visit your left? Sure did. Did you visit your right? Nope, didn't do that. So I zoom in on E. E, have you visited your left? No, but I don't have one. Have you visited your right? Nope, still don't have one of those either. So I guess I can visit myself. Okay, now we're back up to B. We ask B, did you visit your left? Yep. Did you visit your right? Yep, just came from there. What about yourself? Nope, haven't visited myself yet. So now I can visit myself, B. Now I go back up to the A, and you have to think about what got us here. A's left just got visited entirely, recursively. Now I have to ask A, did you visit your right yet? Because you can't write yourself out until, or visit yourself until you have visited your entire right. And A says, nope, haven't done that yet. So I go this way, and I go to the C and say, C, have you visited your left? Nope. I go to F. Hey, F, have you visited your left yet? And he says, no, but I don't have a left. So, okay, well, I guess we can skip that. What about your right? Well, I do have a right child, which may be the root of a subtree. I don't know. So we go down here to H, and we ask H, have you visited your left? I don't have a left. Well, what about your right? I don't have a right. Well, what about yourself? Nope, haven't visited myself yet. So you can mark yourself as visited. Now I go back up to F and say, did you visit your left? Nope, because I don't have one, but it's done. And have you visited your right? Sure have. So we're done with those two, and now we can write ourselves, the F. I go up to the C and I say, hey C, what brought us here? Well, I just got done visiting my left subtree. Have you visited your right subtree yet? Because we know you can't write yourself until just the very end after you're done with your left and your right. So C says, well, I'm done with my left subtree, but I haven't visited my right yet, so I got to go this way. So now we zoom in. We've got G here, and we ask G, did you visit your left yet? Nope. I don't have one, so we can eliminate that. What about your right? No, but I do have a child there, so we zoom in and have an I here. We ask I, have you visited your left? Sure haven't, but I don't have a left. What about your right? Nope, don't have one of those either. I'm a leaf, duh. And then you ask I, well, I guess you have to write yourself down then, don't you? Okay, we go back up to G and say, did you visit your left? Don't have one. What about your right? Yes, and I already visited it. Okay, well, you can write yourself down now because that's the order. Left, right, and then yourself. Go back up to C. You've been waiting a long time, C. Did you get your left done yet? Yep, my left child was visited and all of its subtree. And what about your right? Yep, my right subchild or subtree and the root of that, which is my right child. All of that is done. So you ask C, have you visited yourself yet? He says no. So we can write that. That's a really scuzzy C. I'm going to rewrite that. Okay, a little bit better. Okay, went from second to third grade on that one. All right, so we've got the C and then back up to A. Hey A, here's the part you've all been waiting for anxiously with your popcorn. A, did you visit your left side? Sure did. What about your right side? Sure did. Ah, finally, now I can visit myself. And that, my friends, if it'll let me draw it, there we go, is the Postorder Traversal with my wonderful third grade handwriting. So I hope that was useful to whoever watches it, but especially my students. Sorry, got to look out for number one in the organization that pays me. But hopefully all of you benefit from it. I'll try to make better ones as the time goes by, but this was kind of an urgent, everyone was asking for it before a final exam. So excuse the paint, excuse the bad usage of the drawing board, but I hope it gets the point across. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.